Hi, baby boomer fans. We are Jackie and Janine, the Pfeiffer sisters, and love to talk about the 1950s, inviting you to reminisce with us as we explore experiences of that decade. Grab your favorite malt or Green River. Make sure you are wide awake and get ready to be inspired about the 1950s. Welcome to the 1950s Fun Chat. Merry Christmas, everyone. Tomorrow, 2 days, Jackie, is, and let me get you on screen here too. I'm sorry I don't have you up here to join me this morning, but anyway, Christmas is just right around the corner. There we go. And being dressed in red certainly indicates that we are all joyful for this season. Today's fun chat will just blow your mind. And it is about what, Jackie?
It's about decorating a home to the utmost, the most fantastic, the most ostentatious. We're going to be hearing from a lady that we have had as a guest before. Anything else you want to say before I continue on?
I know she often talks about running around with her hair is on fire, and I think I can identify with that. How about you, Jackie?
Yes. Too often.
we are active women, and active women often bring lots of fun to a 1950s fun chat, and I think that's what our guest today will as well. I don't think it, I know it.
Yes, all right. But as I always say at the beginning, take a look at the www.wildwomenwatch.com. Please go there for all sorts of information about the vendors, the book, the locations where your authors will be speaking. And of course, the many, many fun chats that we have. This is number 172. So you have many hours. If you have nothing else to do, take a look at all those fun chats. So right now, though, we're going to talk again with a guest we've had before. Her name is Peggy Steele Olson. And at the time when World War I had ended, Peggy Steele Olson was born in Coffeyville, southeast Kansas.
World War II.
1 mile. Pardon me?
World War II.
Yeah, World War II. What did I say? World War I?
Yeah, I just look older today. That's all right.
Oh, well, you look good, Peggy. Okay. Excuse me. Anyway, she was born in Coffeyville. Peggy earned a master's degree in education from Northwestern University and a special training in Chicago at Second City. Higher education opened doors to several career paths for her. She lives in Phoenix with her husband, Ron, and she will be leading us on a tour of her vast collection of decorations for the holidays. So take it away, Peggy.
Well, you said, Jackie, you said hair on fire. And I want you to know that I do have hair on fire. And even though this is a Fun Chat 50s, we can also do some modern things, especially those of us who have, grandchildren. So we have added a few little modern touches here that I thought would be fun and show that we do have hair on fire.
I guess you do.
I love it.
Okay, so we're going to start outside our house. And every year when we decorate, we pick a different color scheme. And we have a selection of things stored away. So we mix and match. So we don't have to buy new things every year. But it's creative and it's fun to combine. This year, our color scheme throughout the house is silver and rose, except for one room. And I'll show you that room. So I'm going to start outside and show you we did our gate. And we took our frosted garland and bows and redid them. And when people walk in, the first thing they'll see is our gate that's done up, and they open the gate, and then they will see the area that's our water fountain, which has the garland and the pots of cacti, but we've covered them up with the garland and the bows. And again, we disassemble all of our bows. This ribbon is very expensive ribbon. It's that ribbon that has the metal edges, and it's really quite pricey. This is probably the 10th or 12th year I've used this ribbon. So I disassemble it.
Okay,
We're getting some technical difficulties here. Peggy, are you still with us?
Okay.
There we go.
So the tree is, you can see, is done in rose and silver. I'll go back and see if I can.
Have you used the rose and silver color theme in other years?
I've used some of the rose with darker pink, but we kept it really light this year. And so, for instance, it's displayed on our double front doors with just big, again, really expensive ribbon, but we reuse it, and we get the fresh wreaths at Home Depot, and then we redoctor them up, and we keep it kind of simple. So you enter our front door, and then you see we've opened up our condo when we bought it, so it's very open. So you see lots of space. So you'll see different displays that show the silver and color. This is our entry table, and I purposely left some of the flowers that would be replaced here in the bowl, because I can take these and make sachet from them. And also, I don't know if people are aware of this, but anytime you have flowers, but during the holidays, if you have a rose that looks a little sad, rather than throw it away, you can take off the outside edges, and they're called the guardian leaves, and make it look like new. Florists do that all the time. And so I was going to save that for you. So it's kind of hard to do with one hand. Sorry. But,
Peggy, how do you go about deciding on your color theme?
Whatever moves me at the time. And, I don't buy new colors. I go with what I've got. So I've got lime green, dark green, red, rose, pink, white, silver, and gold. So between all of those, you can make a lot of matches. So now what I'm going to do is we've been cooking Christmas stew, and I thought it would be appropriate as you go through our house to leave some dishes in the sink. So if you see the fact we aren't perfect, it's because we've been doing Christmas cooking.
Well, what's in Christmas stew?
Yeah, what's Christmas stew?
It's my husband's stew. And we call it Christmas stew because we make it at Christmas time as well as other times. And it's very simple. It's a beef squares that are seared. And then, of course, the old crock pot.
Yep.
And onions and carrots and potatoes, and then lots of spices and bouillon. And I think he might put a little wine in. I'm not sure.
Sure.
And then he lets it cook for overnight. It cooks a long time, and it is delicious.
Oh,
when you walk in, you can. I wish we had smell-o-vision here.
No kidding.
It smells so good. So, okay. So, what I talked about a little bit when we were talking about possibly doing this was the interesting thing that when I was a widow, and in my previous marriage, and while I was a widow, I acquired sets of Christmas dolls called the Byer's Choice. They're the Byer's Carolers, and I'm going to show them to you. They're little figures, and they're carolers. You can get all kinds of styles here.
Oh yeah.
And I'd buy a couple every year. I started in the 60s doing this, and I just love them. Part of it's my theater background, because when I set them up every year, I kind of set them up as, telling a little story to myself and who they're singing to. And then as a widow, I met my husband. And as I found out about him, I found out that he had a collection of Christmas dolls called the Simpich dolls, which I had tried to get. And they were really difficult to get. And they're much finer because of how they're made. So if you just saw the Byer's Choice dolls, which are great. If you look at the Simpich dolls, and this is a collection here of, some of them. But if you look at how they're made, the craftsmanship in the face is amazing.
Nice.
Now, this is a good 50s story, because the Simpich family,
Charles Dickens right there.
that's Tiny Tim. That's right. The Simpich family actually started this company in the early 50s, and it started because the young couple had small children and they did not have money for nice gifts, so they handmade dolls for their children for Christmas.
Oh
and people saw them. I think this is like 1952, mid 50s. People saw them and wanted to buy them, and they started selling them out of their home. And the workmanship was so great that they grew an amazing factory in Colorado Springs, Colorado, that, or I think it was Colorado City, actually, a suburb of Colorado Springs, that shipped these off all over the world, and they became famous. And one time they employed, a lot of people. And so that's the 50s, fun 50s fact. And
it'd be cool to know if any of our viewers have this same collection.
Yeah, it really would be. Yeah.
Or aware of them.
Well, and
yeah.
Yes. And we have gotten a couple on eBay and given us gifts because the Simpiches retired, and rather than dilute their business by selling it to a mass-produced factory, probably overseas, they chose to just close it down. And that took a lot of fortitude, because they could have probably made quite a bit of money by selling it. But they did not want to leave a legacy of mass produce. They wanted to leave their legacy of these fine, wonderful dolls. So I have my collection in one window of our little kitchen, and my husband's collection is in the other window. Let me see. This is his collection.
Peggy, how do you spell that last name, please, of the company?
Simpich.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And then the Byer's Choice, was that started in the 50s also?
That's a great question. Let me pick one of these dolls up and look. Byer's Choice. This particular one is from 1994. I know there are some from the 80s. I think they started those. They probably started them as a ripoff from the Simpich dolls.
Sure.
But again, if you look at the face, I think they're just, how can you not love a man who has dolls?
Yeah.
Right. And dolls you like, as well as, being sports, athletic, and liking theater. So when I knew the Simpich dolls, I knew it was a match made in heaven. But look at this face.
Oh,
Isn't that cute? That's a cute, endearing little face. And she's singing to you. But then look at the detail.
Is she a music box?
No, they don't do me. But look at the detail on this. It's very different.
Oh, that muff.
So the quality is not that the Byer's Choice isn't good quality, but compared to the others. So anyway, that's been fun. I thought that was a 50s fun fact for you. Another thing that's very interesting, and I'd be very interested in your listeners to see if they have this. When I grew up, I grew up in a middle-class Kansas family. And so Christmas was pretty standard. We had one gift, but decorating the tree was a big deal. And my mother very carefully kept the ornaments from year to year. And we had an unusual set of ornaments called the little drummer boy ornaments.
Ooh.
And I found those and ordered them. And over the years, they have been destroyed. And this year, I just found another set. They're from the 1950s. And I'm going to show them to you.
How did you find those on eBay?
I did.
Oh, neat.
See, they're little drummer boys.
Oh.
And interestingly enough, when turned on, you plug them in, and when turned on.
Oh, fun. I've never seen anything like that.
They play 35 songs.
Oh, my goodness.
It's better than a jukebox.
It's kind of like individual music boxes playing at the same time.
Oh, it's really cute around a Christmas tree. And I wonder if any of your viewers had these growing up or have them now and save them, because, they're kind of fragile when you look at, there's a lot of pieces, and this little guy has, that little drumstick that's pretty fragile. So you really have to
really whapping it.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they still work is
well,
amazing.
yeah. So these just are charming, and of course, they don't make things like this anymore because, probably cost too much and aren't profitable. Then, speaking of dolls, so the Salvation Army was always an important part of the town where I grew up. And when I saw these Salvation Army dolls that the Byer's Choice put out, I started collecting them. I'm so glad I did. Everybody who comes into our house and looks at the decorations stops with the Salvation Army dolls. And in fact, when my mother passed on, my sister and I gave her, she loved these so much, we gave her Simpich or Buyer's Choice dolls for, birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and things like that. And she wanted the Salvation Army collection. So over time, she got it. When she passed away, she left her collection to me. Well, I had a lot of duplicates. And we were working with a really nice Salvation Army couple in Colorado who ran the Salvation Army. And so we gave our set to them, and they were so grateful. So I'll show you. It's just as cute as it can be. Let me see if I can get it down here.
Well, I love that. Is it a drum or is it?
That's the drum, the Salvation Army drum.
Okay.
And
yes, your collections almost have a similar theme, which is music.
well, that's true. I didn't think about that. That you're absolutely right.
That dog is pretty cute.
And you can see that the collection pot there.
Yeah.
So
the drum, collection drum. Usually, no, it's usually a kettle, wasn't it?
yeah, this is a collection kettle. Can you see
Kettle.
it right here?
Is there anything in that little? Is it a tin underneath the kettle?
Just wait, so the kettle is supported because it's a little fragile. So
Okay.
I thought maybe nobody had noticed, but of course with your eagle eye, noticed.
Yay.
And then we do things like we take our garland and we use it and we decorate things like our chandelier over our dining room table, because it just adds a touch with everything else. And now I'm going to take you to another collection that I wish I had more ceiling light on it, but I think you can see it. One of the things that my husband and I have done when we traveled is every place we've gone, we've purchased an ornament that symbolizes either that state or that event or, excuse me, or that country. And then my mother, God love her, handmade a lot of Christmas ornaments that she gave as gifts. And so it's kind of difficult to put these on a tree, a big tree, and have them hidden. So we started little trees. We started with one, gifts from people that we love and places we've been. It's called our Christmas memory tree. With two of them now. This is one of them.
Peggy, you're blocking out every so often. You need to get closer to your
router?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that better now?
Yes, it is. Your picture still is stuck. There, I can see the picture, but I don't hear you.
Oh,
There, just
is that better?
a little bit.
Okay.
Keep on talking.
I'm moving around the house and we just go out at different times. Okay, so that was our Christmas memory tree full of things like that. Now, my first husband was from a farm in Lawrence, Kansas, and he his mother was a farm lady and never had quote unquote work where she went and she drew a paycheck, but she worked as a farm wife and mother. And so later in life, she acquired a hobby of doing ceramics. And she even got a kiln for a gift and had it in her basement of the little farmhouse and did wonderful ceramics. And so she produced a gift for me that I very carefully put out and cherished so much. And it is the ceramic nativity set. I believe it's one of the prettiest nativity sets. And I always have it featured in the central because growing up as a Southern Baptist, the birth of Christ at Christmas time is critical to us, even though we have Santa Clauses and elves and stuff like that. You still have that thread that is the reason for Christmas. So this nativity set.
Oh.
Blair here, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah. Looks so pristine. There you go. Oh yeah, nice.
and she no, of course she had casts for the things,
Uh-huh.
but so we have that featured as you walk in. It's featured, so everything kind of centers on it because we also have the Santa Clauses and all of that. Any questions or?
Did she make the creche too? Or the stable?
No, she did
Oh,
not.
okay.
And I had to look all over to find one that was big enough.
Mhm.
And found this, and it's perfect. So
Mhm.
didn't have that for many years, but I think it really adds to it.
Is your
Mhm.
set unique in that you're the only one who has one like that?
Well, I asked her to do it all in white, and she had done several, but she had painted, all their outfits and painted the horses and the cows to look as realistic as possible. And I didn't want that. I wanted them all in white. And she thought that was really strange, but she did them, and they're so beautiful. In fact, I'm going to go and close the curtains and come back so you can see this. They're so beautiful that people ask me where I bought them. So I ended up having her make several to give us gifts. And people cherish them as I do, but so I don't know of any others like this other than what we had her make, that are done in the white. I think it'll show better here.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's the bigger picture, and then you can see the wise men.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the simplicity of it is stunning.
Well, I'm glad you pointed that out, because isn't that just what Christianity is? It's simple. We've made it so complex, but it's not that.
Mhm.
It's not that complex, really.
Yeah.
Well, so we started with stories, and the little houses and things like that people buy. I collected. I used to have over 100 of them when I moved from the house I had in Colorado after my first husband was killed, and I remarried and I moved. I gave a lot of these little houses away to what became my stepchildren, to my nieces and nephews, because I don't have children. I was a career woman, child free. When I married this man with 6 children and 18 grandchildren.
Oh, wow.
That's why I look tired.
Yeah.
So
Joyfully tired.
joyful, yeah, absolutely. So here I'm going to show you our bookcase, which we used to take all the books out and try to really decorate it. Now I leave the books in and try to work with what we have.
I like that.
We have a combination of the houses and Santa Clauses. Now I will tell you, being from the theater group, a lot of times you'll just see these little houses displayed as houses, and they're cute. But the thing that really makes them really look like a little village are the things like the snow and the trees.
Mhm.
If they're just little houses displayed, that's one thing. But if you can tell a story, because I think anytime you set something like this up, it should tell a story. So this is the story of the joyful people who are on the sleigh,
Mhm.
and they're taking their joy to the local old curiosity shop and bookstore. So we have the same thing over here. This is a fire station and the home for sick children.
Peggy, how does I love the addition of it, but how does the ladder tie in with the story in your?
Well, the ladder has a young man who I haven't found yet, who stands on it and is decorating the tree.
Oh, sure.
So it's a big old tall tree, and we haven't unloaded him yet. He's carefully packed away somewhere. So we just have again, anybody who does these, our bias is to supplement these houses with trees and with the snow and little people. It really makes a difference. And you don't have to have 15 houses to look good. You can in this little display, there's 2 houses and trees, and it tells a story. And children are fascinated when they come in to see.
Where do you find these accessory pieces then for the houses?
All the places that sell the houses sell these trees and things like that.
Okay.
It's just now,
Michael's.
Pardon me?
Maybe a store such as Michael's, or maybe Target.
Michael's has usually they're Hallmark stores that sell those Department 56, but they do have little houses and things like that. I noticed at Michael's the other day when I was there. And so they're not the same brand, but absolutely. But you
Peggy, can you go, if you can hear us, can you get to walk around to a different area, please?
better? Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better. Well,
Now
for
it's
that one, there we.
Okay, let me do this. Let me walk this way with my face in the picture.
Okay.
And let me turn off the fans. I think that might be the issue.
Do you know, Peggy, if brush trees were popular in the 50s, or do you have any of them, or they're all ceramic?
Yeah. No, that's a great question, because this display
like a bottle brush tree. Are you referring?
has brush trees. See, those are all brush trees. And the little display that we had with, because the brush trees are bigger and they really make a difference. So these are, see,
these are more to scale.
and then, yeah, and then the displays of the Byer's Choice, the trees there, and the trees with the Simpich were all brush trees.
Oh, okay. But not
Okay,
necessarily, not necessarily part of the 1950s decor?
Well, I don't know that they had this in the 1950s. I don't remember this kind of thing coming in until the 70s. Maybe they did, but we didn't have it because it was probably too expensive growing up. You know, we didn't have stuff like that.
Did you have any bubble lights on your Christmas trees?
Well, funny you should ask. Let's just go into our bedroom. I remember I said we had one memory tree, and it was wonderful, and I showed it to you, and it was this one right here. Okay, well, we ran out of room. So now we have a second memory tree.
Okay, we're losing you again. That second memory tree is probably pretty fantastic.
And away from the router.
Yes.
In a corner.
And I bet it has bubble lights on it.
Right.
I wonder if any of our viewers have ever been around Christmas trees with bubble lights. And I know they've made a comeback, but does anyone still have bubble lights from the 1940s or 50s? I remember we had a string of them, but they never worked. And I don't know why mom kept them. Do you remember?
Memories. I don't know.
Okay. But it would be, maybe it was just part of she wanted to keep that memory alive with that those bubble lights. But it was fun to see those every year. When we have now, one thing Peggy didn't talk about was icicles on the tree. And that was a huge part of decorating our Christmas trees.
Right.
And
some people call them tinsel and some icicles, but I think package, that's maybe the part of the brand name.
Oh, okay.
Or tinsel, but tinsel is actually rope also. Silvery.
We did have some velvet rope. Remember? It was twisted. It was very narrow. It was kind of twisted, and it was in red. And I know we had a rope of red. I don't know if we had a rope of green or not. There's Peggy's back. Hi.
Sorry, I had to go back in and re-enter the studio. Let me see if I can do this. But the balls are on this tree.
Okay, a little hard.
When I turn around, I lose reception.
Okay. There, maybe.
Maybe.
We see your beautiful face, but we don't see you moving or talking.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. We can't. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Better.
I couldn't do the bubble light tree, but yes, we do have bubble lights. Now, this is another tree that we have. It's all silver.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Okay.
With those,
do you have icicles on there now? On that one?
I'll show you. What we've done is we've put all kinds of things. We went to Michael's before Christmas one year, way before Christmas, because at Christmas they don't have the stuff. And they had a sale on all their non-summer like things and got tons of pieces like and this and use them, you know, in a variety of ways. And there are no bulbs on this tree.
Oh, just wow. Think of how it would sparkle though.
Yeah, it does. It's really, I think it's just a really pretty tree.
It is. Did you ever have an aluminum tree and then with the color wheel?
You know, do you remember when those came out?
In the 60s, 70s?
Oh my gosh, they were, they came out, I think they came out in the 50s and early 60s because.
Yes, that's what I remember too. And some people I think had the color wheels and others didn't. They just put colored bulbs on the tree and without the color wheel.
We were one of those families that had an aluminum, Christmas tree without a color wheel. And my dad would take a flashlight and put cellophane. Remember when you used to be able to get green and red cellophane at Christmas time for your cookies? He would put green and red cellophane over the light and shine it on the tree. And we just thought that was so cool.
Oh, I bet.
We didn't spend money on stuff like that. Now I'm going to take you to the red room, okay? Because obviously red is a really predominant color and we have some really cool red stuff. And this is our guest bedroom, and it's decorated in black and white Mackenzie Child stuff, which is the theme. So the red
really pops.
Scope around. The red really pops. Now, so this little tree does not have lights on it. Whoops. Let me see if I can get it close up. Let me see. I know I'm making you dizzy.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now, who's the
smiling face?
Yeah.
The little old ladies. Is that cute or what?
How fun are they?
Neighbors had a whole collection of these and they were moving, and I bought a couple of them from them a few years ago. And they are our guardian angels.
She looks like she's worn out.
But she's happy.
She's probably got 18 grandchildren and 6 stepchildren, and she's running down the street with her hair on fire.
Hey, you need to put some of those hair attachments in her hair.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. As soon as this is over. This is a piece that's a vintage piece that is Santa and his sleigh, and it has all kinds of detail in it. If you can see it, and it does light up, but it won't light up now because we have to fix something. And next to him is our other lady who's sitting holding on the bed. What?
She looks like a lady of the night.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Let me talk to her after you leave and make sure that her life is
straight.
All right. Yep.
Okay. And so this is our red room, and so we've displayed everything in this room that we think would be of interest to people, and it's backed up by the black and white. This is a final piece. It's Santa in his workshop. I'm sorry I can't get that in better. Not sure how to do it. And that also lights up.
What's the story on that?
Well, the Santa in his workshop and Santa and the sleigh we purchased at consignment shops, and they were getting rid of their Christmas decorations. And it was just too good of a deal. You know, they were really expensive, and I think we got them for like $50 or something like that, not very much money. So it was too good of a deal to pass up. So that's, when you see a good deal, you got to get it, whether you need it or not.
Among all these beautiful ornaments and the stories that you have to go with them, do you have a favorite?
Well, of course, I like the Simpich dolls in the Byer's Choice. There's one other thing I was going to show you, and my total favorite is definitely the nativity, the whole nativity. But in Arizona.
This may not work as well going outside.
Okay. And I want to, darn it, I'll stay here because
Maybe back in, maybe back into the house a bit because you're stopped.
Uh-huh.
You have frozen.
Well, do you decorate outside, Jackie, for Christmas?
We put lights on, white lights around on the eaves. How about you in this place?
We have. I'm gonna get out of there. We have a post, and on top of that post is the sheep wind vane that we got from some very dear friends of ours from Ohio as a gift, and that was always on one of our buildings, our outside buildings on our farm. So Fred wanted to bring that with us, and the best possible solution was to put this very raw looking post into the ground with the wind vane on top, and then we encircle the post with lights. And that's kind of our joy of being outside, of having lights on.
lights,
I have a wreath.
lights add so much.
Okay, yep. Let's want to talk.
I want to tell you that if you look at the distance in the pool,
yes,
you'll see red.
Yes.
Santa came to visit us and stayed. You know, he liked it. Look, he's exhausted.
Yeah. Oh,
he's taking a little nap. He's taking a little nap, and he's relaxing in the pool. And also, we have, and I'm
okay, we'll wait for Peggy to get back. And what were you saying, Jackie, about outside? Just trying to get in.
I'm not going to go too far out, but we do decorate outside.
I don't want to
even if the Arizona
speak over her when she pops in.
Yes, Peggy. Okay. Well, I like that Santa. Looked like he was pretty exhausted out there in that pool. I wonder if that's pre-Christmas or post-Christmas Santa.
What I was going to tell you was that several years ago, I mean, many years ago, I made 2 large cutout reindeer from plywood, painted them, and I have a bow on them. And they're standing in front of our front door. And then we have of course, a wreath on our door. But
yes,
so that they always come out every year.
Yep. Well,
I
think once you have ornaments or decorations, Christmas decorations that you like, it's just traditional to bring them out, and you can decorate how you've usually decorated, and also at that point you can have memories come to mind. Okay, Peggy.
Okay, we have in one of our guest bathroom the little whimsical wise men. And everything in this bathroom's whimsy. So we have.
Could you turn off that light, please? I think we can see it better without the light.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you acquire these items?
Well, again, when I was working and still acquiring things instead of trying to simplify, when I would be in different cities.
Okay.
You know, most of the calls that I made were in corporate offices, many downtown and metropolitan areas, and you'd see something and go in and buy it. And so I started that collection. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a collection that I don't think is made anymore either. But I thought they were cute and whimsical and fun and different than anything I had. As you can see, the theme here is characters.
Yeah. Does that tie in with your acting?
I think so. I think the stories, and people also, being a teacher and then starting businesses that had learning themes, people learn from stories. I mean, people remember stories. They don't remember facts and data so much as stories. So I just have always liked stories, and I love the story for the two of you, the podcast and what you're doing. It's pretty remarkable.
Thank you. It's been fun
Thank
and
you.
educational by all means. My goodness,
Mhm.
what we've learned about the 1950s for 172 chats has
I
been
guess.
very valuable and very fun. Peggy, in closing today's chat, if there is one other item you'd like to add to your collection of Christmas decorations, what might it be?
A good modem so that when I can take you guys around, I'd love for
Okay.
Santa to bring me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think that I would take another nativity set, I think.
Mhm.
But not just one that's purchased. I think that the one that my mother-in-law made for me was so meaningful. I my wish would be for her to be back and she could do a second one for me, but it
Mhm.
happened. So,
Oh,
but I'm
yeah.
just really blessed, and because when I worked, I had a personal assistant who also helped me a lot with decorating and things like that. She was German. She was very exact and very good at what she did. Um, I had a big old rambling house in Colorado, a ranch house with lots of decks, and under the decks we had storage. We had 77 barrels of Christmas decorations. And I'm talking about the things you wheel out to the curb in cities that are the
Yeah.
big trash.
Yeah.
We had 77 of those that we stored everything in. And
No.
so I have pared down. I probably have about, if I had to say, I probably have a fourth of what I used to have. So we've enjoyed what we've kept. What we gave away to people we really cared about. We thought would enjoy them, and either relatives or friends, family. And so it's been a real blessing. And
Okay.
every year for me, people go, how do you go to all that work? And it is work. But for me, it's a memorial to, I put it out, I put the Christmas decorations out, and I remember my sweet mother sitting in her chair making these little hand decorations. And I remember Irene, my mother-in-law, going down to the kiln to check to make sure and saying, are you sure you want these white? Are you sure? Could I just paint some eyes in them? I said, no. White. And then after she got them done, she was so proud of them.
Yeah.
So I remember when I put up the memory trees, it makes my husband very nervous. Excuse me, because of course I live with these decorations every year and put them up, and he sees me putting them up and he gets nervous because I'll go, remember where we got this one? And he reverts back into being a student, and he's afraid he's not going to pass the test. So and there's no primer, so he can't study for it. He has to remember where he got that one. So that's a lot of fun.
You bring great joy to many, many people with
thank
your
you.
with your
Thank you.
stories and your Christmas decorations and your flair for decorating.
Yes.
It has been a pleasure to step inside your home and outside your home to see all the beauty and festivity that you have and that you care about for this season. Thanks,
Oh,
Peggy.
let me
Thank
tell you. Can I tell you one more thing that we're going to do
Okay.
that is very childish, probably immature, and I'll probably get in trouble for it. But we're going to take, because we're on a little lake, we're going to take this Santa Claus on the raft, and we're going to release him on the lake and let him float around. Now,
but it's a secret, huh?
it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. So you may see the headlines that I have been taken away in handcuffs because the homeowners association here is very strict. But that is what has come from this podcast and preparing for you guys. You have created a criminal in the making.
No, just a little mischief maker.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Okay, Jackie,
Yeah.
can you close the show?
Yes.
Mhm.
And folks, if you do have a comment, there's a space below for your comments. And then also please hit the little blue button that says subscribe or red button that says subscribe and the blue thumbs up. So until next time, tell your friends, even your relatives, about the 1950s Fun Chat. Until next time, toodaloo.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you for being faithful and watching these 1950s Fun Chats. Bye-bye.
Bye.